I would say that,
Yeah.
oh my God, my mom is dead, bro. Like right there. Have to give her chest compressions, friends over the house. That's kind of traumatic. Like seeing the person die in front of me, which was so horrible, is like one of those things too, where it's like, selfishly, I was like, I'm just grateful it wasn't me. You know what I mean? I'm like, damn, that sucks because that's a good dude, but it was tough. And then the way it happened too, it wasn't like any street thing or anything like that. The guy just went to work and he didn't make it home, and it was unfortunate.
All right, welcome to the W Number Podcast, folks. So I got my boy Bobby Lucas in the house for part 2.
Salute.
Or part 2.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me. It's always a pleasure, bro.
So for the people who don't know your name, man, tell them what your name is and what you do for a living.
Okay, so
Both things, your job and your podcast.
So my name is Bobby Lucas. In the neighborhood, it just kind of evolved from B to B Luke, because my last name is Lucas. What I do for a living, I do construction, man. I do commercial waterproofing. I've been doing that since COVID hit, 2020. I was doing like events and concerts before that, but that was like the first thing to shut down. And I got a call from my boy Ed, rest in peace, and he was asking if I was looking for work, and I was like, yeah, bro, please, because at the time I just got off of house arrest, and then I just felt like I was on house arrest again, because like when COVID first happened, even if you could leave the house, but nothing was open anyway. You know what I mean? Nothing was open, bars weren't open, anything like that. But also that's what I do during the day, and then during the evenings I do the Bounce Back podcast. I've been doing that since 2022. So yeah, man, it's going on almost 2 years now. Because it was like late. I know it says established in 2022, but it was pretty late 2022. It was closer to 2023.
So I was in prison when COVID hit. But what was it like on the streets when COVID hit, bro?
It was a weird time, man. So for instance, I got my YMCA membership, I think, during COVID, and everybody had masks on for so long. And then when the policy started to dwindle where it wasn't necessary anymore, everybody started taking their masks off. And it was just weird. It was like, oh, I didn't think you looked like that.
Yeah,
I just
right.
totally pictured something different. And I'm sure probably the same could be said both ways. So I always say, like, a lot of communication, you get a lot from people's facial expressions and stuff like that, the cues, and a lot of that was missed because of, you couldn't really, and then the talking was muffled with the mask and everything. It was a strange time. And then there was all these circles on the floors at like Walgreens and stuff, 6 feet apart to keep the social distancing. But yeah, in that first, everything was shut down. So we're getting these checks too. And it was like, I really didn't, the mall was closed. I couldn't get clothes. I mean, I know a lot of people, they probably shopped on Amazon Prime and stuff like that. But I more just was like, I just spent my money on like just smoking weed, bro. I'm not even gonna lie, bro. Yeah. Like that was all, I had a friend that, that's all I could raise. But granted, I saved a lot of money. It wasn't like I spent it all on that. I actually probably had the most money in my bank account than at any point. And it wasn't because I was making more. I was just spending a lot less.
I always pictured it like when I was in prison, like, because the way they portrayed it on TV was like, you'd walk into a zone and it'd be like, caution, danger zone, like sick people here. And like, the streets are deserted with like a napkin blowing through the street, like tumbleweeds and shit. And like, I didn't see anybody in the streets, bro. It was crazy. Like the way things were in the prison, I could only imagine how crazy it was out here, like isolation wise. And but I know it spurred a lot of people to create podcasts and start to be in social media and stuff like that. Is that kind of what got you started?
That was probably what got me into watching YouTube. Was probably that. I wasn't really big into watching YouTube, and that I guess, yeah. And then from there, what I was doing also too, even because did the gym close down at all? I forget if the gym ever really closed down, but I was working out a lot. I was doing like 2 a days because of boredom too.
Yeah.
So that was really my initial content creation was the fitness thing, just because of how it made me feel. It made me feel so good. I wanted to share that with people. Like, yo, if you do this, you can feel this way too, man. I feel excellent. I feel great about myself. It's just a higher frequency energy, but then you see the results too, you know? So that's like motivating. I was in phenomenal shape, 6-pack and everything during COVID, bro.
And I noticed that you always have like the most positive attitude, bro, right? And I definitely want to talk about that too, but I kind of want to take it back a little bit and talk about, you know, you got out of prison, and I know a lot of people can relate to this, right? So you get out of prison, and what do you do from there? Like, do you have any skills and training that you learned in prison? And like, what do you do with it? And like, how are you adjusting to society? Is it hard? You know what I mean? All that. Let's hear it.
So big shout out to my mom. She has actually sent me brochures while I was incarcerated on the, you know, on the tail end of about being ready to be released for Kaplan Career Institute. I had the choice between, they had the electrical and the HVAC course, and I was just like, you know what? This is what I need. Like, I'm not promised a job, but if I could get into this is at least structure, and I could base the rest of my day around this. I ended up doing night school, because I did end up just working. I was working with my uncle under the table. It wasn't like nothing on the books. So I was kind of doing that during the day and then going to school at night. So I think that was just a big thing for me, was having a goal, something to work towards on the daily, not just some idea. And you know what I mean? It was like, I got to go every day. Actually ran into a couple people that I was actually locked up with at the school, and it was cool. We kind of bonded, and we were taking night classes, and I wasn't always working. So sometimes, like in the summer, we would go down to Constitution Beach, play handball during the day, to go to class at night. You know, it was just kind of good to have that, you know, some sort of brotherhood, because it was kind of sad. I was a week or two before I was getting out, my cousin Ronnie got 2.5 years in county, and it was like like my brother was down, you know, he got arrested while I was incarcerated, and he got a big bid and 15 to life, you know what I mean? So I really felt like I had like nobody as far as peers. You know, I had my mom and you know, uncles and stuff like that, but as far as like my age and my age group, my cousin were only a few months apart. That kind of hurt, but you know, it's just one of those things where it's like you got to be good by yourself. Yeah, you know, unfortunately, but
can't rely on anybody for anything.
No,
to tell you the truth. And you get out of prison, all the things that you think about doing when you're in prison, right? Did you do any of them?
I recorded some raps. You know, that was one of the things I wrote a lot when I was in there, and I was like, I gotta at least follow through with that. I used to watch Phantom Gourmet before the football game and have all these restaurants. I probably get it up Uber Eats and more of them than actually going out and doing stuff like that. But you know, I guess the main focus was just, I guess, the school, you know, just let me have something to base, you know, my day around. And then, you know, it was like 14 months, you know, I had no probation or nothing either. So I had nobody to keep me in line besides myself.
Set you up for the future too.
Yeah,
something
absolutely.
that you look forward to having, like, as an accomplishment, and be like, you could go to an office or a job, whatever it is you're studying, and be like, I got a bachelor's degree or an associate's degree or whatever, and it'll give you more of a shot. You know what I mean? That's the way I look at it too. I'm going to school getting my bachelor's right now too. But it's funny because the Phantom Gourmet, was that every Thursday night?
I think I used to catch it on Sunday mornings or something.
Sunday mornings, yeah, you're right. Before football.
Yeah.
Before football. Yo, because Phantom Gourmet is like, I feel like everybody in prison watches well, in Massachusetts anyways. Like,
I feel like it'd be torture sometimes. Like, let me go have this hot dog and beans.
Where it looks so good, and then you just gotta go back to that prison food, bro, right? Yeah. So what was like your number one goal? Like getting out and accomplishing, like you had to do something. Like what is that one thing?
I mean, it kind of, you know, I did it. My stay bid was like 3 years, so it kind of crept up too. Like, damn, I'm about to be released real soon. But I guess my main goal was kind of just a little bit of independence, because I was, you know, I got out, I was staying with family, stuff like that. And then just the school and getting full-time employment was and then sticking with the working out, the stuff that got me through, you know, the tough times of prison and stuff like that. So but
My fault.
No, yeah, mainly the full-time employment and just, self-sufficiency.
What were some of the struggles that you faced? Like,
Some of the struggles I face, just dealing with people, a different breed of people that thought they were a lot, I don't know, not cooler, but just thought they carried this confident aura or whatever that maybe I didn't see it in them, and they would be just real fresh out of their mouth. Like, I feel like some people, like, no consequence, who never had consequences for the way they talked. You know what I mean? I see a lot of that. And that was more like when I was working at Home Depot, just like a couple dudes there were like, you got, I don't know, no business to kind of talk to people the way that you're talking to them. Not to people, never like that they disrespected me, but it's just the way they carried themselves. I was like, it was just a turn off, I don't know, for people. So I didn't really get that. And then saving up, having to pay off all sorts of DMV fines and stuff like that. So my license was suspended from the drug charge and all this stuff. They suspended a license that I didn't even have, but I still had to pay all this money, and eventually got that. I guess financially it was tough because I was used to, like, I went away for second and subsequent drug offense, so I was used to a certain kind of fast money, spend it as almost every day as it comes, and worry about it tomorrow. Having to wait a couple weeks for the first check, and then realizing how much taxes they take was like, damn, that kind of hit me. And then I guess reintegrating and trying to rekindle old friendships was kind of tough because it's like people kind of just move on with their life, and I don't think they intend any ill will or anything. It's just, you're not in that circle of people that they call when they go out or when they're playing, whatever they're doing, you know what I mean? It's like you kind of, at least for me, I kind of fell out of that circle and kind of just, I don't know, I just really only connected with like a couple of my boys that, I thought I was going to come home to a lot bigger of a social circle, and it was going to be this big Goodfellas welcome home thing, and it was like nobody cared, really, you know what I mean? And plus the 3 years on the street probably won't by like that to them, you know what I mean? So it probably didn't even seem like I was even gone.
You know what's crazy to me is I feel like the time in prison went by a lot faster than actually the time does out here. I feel like it goes by slower out here. I think it might just be because of routine in there. In there you got such a routine, and it's like the days are just, you're knocking them down. That's like the only thing that you want to accomplish with your days, to get rid of that day. So you're like keeping it strict, routine. Now here, if you don't have a job, like for me, the biggest struggle is getting a job, bro. Getting a job for me is tough, bro. It's like I've applied to 400 fucking places, and nobody wants to hire an ex-convict, bro. It's not just like, I see other ex-convicts getting jobs. It's like it can't be across the board. I think it's just the violence, bro. People, they just don't like the violence. Because my name pops up, like a home invasion, all that shit. But so when you get out of prison, you establish something where you got a job at Home Depot, you said? And then how many jobs did you get? Like, where'd you work?
So I was working at Home Depot for a little bit. Then actually, a friend of mine told me about this big shout out to Cambridge Works program, which reminds me, damn, I was supposed to call Michelle back earlier. Damn it, I'm sorry. But pretty much it's a program through the city of Cambridge. People with barriers to employment, right? Whether that's a record, they would have single mothers with no work history, and pretty much what they do is they kind of prepare you. They get you a job and get you recent work experience, references from that work experience, resume building, public speaking, all these mock interviews, like mock job interviews and stuff like that, get you comfortable, stuff like that. And so pretty much, I was working at Spalding Hospital in Cambridge, and they had a position in opening up, and it was between me and another guy from the program. He got the full-time position, but they liked me so much that they kept me part-time. And then the city of Cambridge actually put me on for the rest of the week. So I think I had like 32 hours with them, and then the other 2 days, or whatever it was, I think it was 3 and 2, I worked for the city of Cambridge with the parks department down at Danny Hill Park, and that was cool because that was like my old hockey coach was my boss and stuff like that. So and until the new fiscal year where they could put in for a new position, full-time position, and then they kept me there, and then I was there for like 4 or 5 years.
Word. So you're talking to all these people, right? You get some amazing stories, and I know you've had people like Jay Williams on your podcast, like flying up from wherever you're from, Virginia, right? And you know, you're doing things like you bought me a membership here, like you're putting people on and you're giving people a huge platform, bro, right? Like, what do you say to people what do you say to the haters, bro? The people who are like, oh man, whatever, you know what I mean? Like, you're doing something important.
Usually with stuff like that, it's just an outward projection of how people internally feel about themselves. People hate themselves, really, and that's why they just show that hate towards other people.
Word.
That's what I used to get caught up in the back and forths and all that, but I've been just trying to let it rest. If they want to put that negative energy out there, it's like math, man. Even if you could be the most positive guy, if you times positive 100 by -2, it's a negative number.
Yeah, no matter what.
So you can't give that negative stuff your energy.
Fact. Yep. And how do you maintain such a positive attitude about things, even when it gets real tough, bro? That's something I need.
It's almost became like some sort of coping mechanism. I had no other choice but to be positive. And it's just like one of those things too. It's like there's no way that anything good can really come from negative thinking. I don't think it's really possible. You know what I mean? I don't see anybody that's full of negative thoughts having great things happen to them in their life. And it's just, a lot of it is perspective. That glass to you is half empty, to me it's half full. And it's really, you gotta look at it like that, because I feel like I just, growing up, my mom was kind of a negative person a little bit. It's always like, a million reasons why, you shouldn't do something. It's like, man, you tell somebody your dream and they're like, oh, you can't do that, blah, blah, blah. And it's just, I don't think nothing good comes from that. So I just feel like it was like some sort of coping mechanism at first, when just, life throws hurdles at you and it's just like, what am I going to do? Sit here and cry about it? Like, I don't think that's going to really get me through it. It just kind of digs yourself deeper. So, you got to kind of find, the good in things. And sometimes when something bad happens, there's usually some sort of silver lining there. And I've noticed that a lot of times after something very, very bad happens, on the other side of that, something great happens. And there's ebbs and flows. And it's just about knowing that, okay, things are bad right now, but this too shall pass. The same way when things are good. Don't get too up. It ain't going to be gravy forever. This too is going to pass and you're going to be down again. Night and day, fall and winter, ups and downs. Just kind of know that it's going to eventually even itself out, because the universe is balanced.
Two things I kind of noticed is that Buddhists, number one, they have that same belief that, when things are really good and you should be feeling really happy, maintain that same even keel where you don't get too up or too down, because if you do get up, then you're gonna experience that low. You know what I mean? When it goes away. So it's like you get those. But
it's like drugs. I mean, you get this high at the crash. Usually, the higher you get, the more you crash. Right? You know what I mean?
But so, what do you say to somebody who, like, they could listen to what you're saying right now, right, and be like, oh, he ain't never been through shit. That's why he thinks like that. That's why he's so positive like that.
I would say that that's just not the case. I feel like I have been through some stuff. I've seen some traumatic things. I've seen people die in front of me. I've had my mom overdose in front of me a couple times, and almost was like pretty much grieving in the moment, thinking like, oh my God, my mom is dead, bro. Like right there. Have to give her chest compressions, friends over the house. That's kind of traumatic. Like seeing the person die in front of me, which was so horrible, was like one of those things too, where it's like, selfishly, I was like, I'm just grateful it wasn't me. You know what I mean? I'm like, damn, that sucks, because that's a good dude, but it was tough. And then, and it was the way it happened too. It wasn't like any street thing or anything like that. The guy just went to work and he didn't make it home, and it was unfortunate.
You've seen all these things, right? And you've been through some fucked up stuff, right? No question in my mind, right? So what do you think, like, when you got somebody sitting in the couch, right? the famous red couch that I'm letting you use, by the way, right? It's my couch now. But what do you think, like, when you hear these people's stories in your, like, are you in your head sometimes like, I do it bullshitting, or just kind of like, I mean, we're humans, bro. We all judge people and shit like that. So what do you think? Like, you hear these stories,
I try to take people for their word, because then it's like, if you don't, and then you got to try to figure out when somebody's lying, when they're telling the truth. It's too much overthinking for me. So I just give people the benefit of the doubt. And a lot of these people have been through some stuff a lot worse than me. And it puts things definitely into perspective that, you know what, as bad as I have it, or you have it, or the next person has it, there's always somebody out there that has it worse. You know, there's always somebody, even with everything in life, faster, jump higher, bigger, stronger, someone with a worse life than you, somebody, you know, and, you know, a lot of people, some people have it better. But, you know, everything happens for a reason. And I feel like, you know, some people are the chosen ones that have to go through the fire. And because it's usually the people that go through the fire that end up with these great stories and these legacies and really leave a lasting impact on people, right? You know, nobody wants to hear about the hero that everything's good, right? Usually the hero gotta go, you know, has a villain or has to go through trials and tribulations and come on it the other side. It's like the perseverance part of it, and it's the seeing people come from nothing and becoming everything. Like 50 Cent, that dude, man, like that dude been shot. He was shot 9 times. You know, people wanted to kill him. All this stuff. And look where he's at. You know, he's one of the biggest rappers of all time. And now he's doing like movies and TV shows. And it's like, if coming from where he comes from, Southside Jamaica, Queens, I'm sure a white dude from East Cambridge, you know what I'm saying, could do all right, bro. If he could come from where he comes from. And even people like Francis Ngannou, who came from Cameroon, a whole nother continent, and had to like sneak out of there to Europe to fight there and find, you know what I mean? Like, those are the stories that are like, it's so inspirational to me. And it's just, I really look up to those types of stories.
Yeah, man. So that's where you get your inspiration from.
Yeah, absolutely. It's just seeing other people, what they're able to go through and overcome. The real people, you know, you see it in the movies, but when you see it in real life, you can see it. You can see it a lot of times in people's eyes too, that they've been through some stuff.
What do you think, like, when you have like one of them moments where you're like, man, fuck everything, bro. Like, fuck my life. Fuck this dude in front of me. Fuck Maddie, because I hate Maddie, right? I can't do this no more, bro. Fuck this shit, bro. What like, have you ever reached that point?
Sometimes, yeah. And you know what I think of? I think of this stupid friggin' commercial. Forget, but it says, "Don't make the future you hate you." You know what I mean? With the stupid jingle and all of that. But I was like, that's so deep, though. Yeah. Because it's like, if I pick up whatever, if I pick up this drink, or if I do this, if I just, whatever the decision may be, punch this guy in the face, you know what I mean? The future me that's sitting in the jail cell is like, what was wrong with you? You know what I mean? Wow. So it's usually about the delayed gratification, you know, and what's usually easy doesn't really bear fruit. It's usually the difficult things is the right thing to do.
I mean, I see now, like, that you got some deep thinking going on right in your head, bro, right? But at one point, you were selling drugs and carrying weapons and doing whatever else. Like, what the fuck were you thinking then, bro? And how did you get to this point right now? This Bobby.
Right, yeah. So, I guess just having my eyes opened and I was just, you know what, I think it was just not really having that like any really positive role models, you know what I mean? And even amongst my friend group, a lot of the dudes I looked up to were the dudes that were getting arrested and selling drugs and beating people up. And I was like, oh, that's how you get respect. You know, that's how people, you know, that's how you get the girls. You gotta dress nice or whatever. So to dress nice, get the nice sneakers. For me, growing up on welfare, Section 8, and all that, it wasn't like, my mom made sure we had stuff, but it wasn't like the freshest. It wasn't, new kicks every week. You know what I mean? He had a pair of kicks. We had to make them last. So I wanted to be like, oh, a new pair of sneakers come out. I like them. I want them. So I started getting into that. But even that, man, even like before my house got raided, man, it was just like internally, I'm like, what am I, you know? It's all fun and games when you're a teenager, high school. But then it's like I graduated high school. I had no plan. What's next? I'm just going to hustle. You know what I mean? So even I just started internally thinking about these type of things. But it was like, you know, I'm already kind of knee deep in stuff. You know, when my house got raided, second and subsequent offense, that's what I went upstate for. I just got an apartment with my brother, so I had no job. So I'm not going to just stop and try to get a job. But I think the mind shift was starting to change then, even at that age, because I remember something like, what am I really doing, and second guessing it. And I think everything happens for a reason. I think I was meant, you know, to go away and do a little bit of time. And yeah, I just got to really look at it like that. Like the reasons may be beyond us, but everything happens for a reason.
So when you're sitting there in the prison cell, was that your thinking? Like, oh, this is meant to be.
I'm so
glad you're
I was just, my thinking was, man, I'm done with all this stuff. And this was week one. that was all, you know what I mean? Like I was ready to probably get released and change my life around then. But I say that, but it's easy to say that. If I were to got released, I don't know. I was just kind of, honestly, I was grateful because things could have been worse. You know, things could have been worse. The amount I got caught with was little compared to the amount that I usually had on me at my house. Literally the day before they raided my house, I gave my friend a bunch of stuff, like, I don't know, just something feels. You know, I got posted not too long before by the cops, didn't have nothing on me, just money. You know what I mean? Like, I had the feeling, and it was just like the day before, that's what made me think, like, all right, I was meant to get this. I wasn't meant to get trafficking.
Right.
Go away for over a decade or whatever it may have been, you know what I mean? But these little, you know, that's how I kind of looked at it. Like, you know, it definitely could have been a lot worse.
Taking the good with the bad.
Yeah, I just, you know, it was a nonviolent, you know what I mean? Nonviolent distribution, Class B, second and subsequent offense.
That was nonviolent, right? But was there ever a time in your life where you were violent and you had?
A lot of my county shit was stupid violent stuff, fights, pulling knives out on people.
What's one of these situations where you had to pull a knife out on somebody?
So,
We're getting to the real bottom.
No, this is fun. This is how I show you where it's like how messed up I was. So I would say, like, people always say drug of choice and all that stuff, right? I'm addict, alcoholic, whatever. I was like, the alcohol, especially at that point, the hard liquor, major problem for me. Major problem for me. And I'm on and what really got me bad into the drinking was having to get on probation and stop smoking weed, because I had to do something every day. I couldn't be sober. It just was too much that maybe I never even want to look at with my life, or just other stuff going on, just me in my own head, and just used to, you know, just doing something for every day for how long. So I'm like, well, all I could do is really drink, and that really turned me into an alcoholic. So there was one time I'm hammered and I'm cutting through Harvard Square, and I was hungry, and I just kind of helped myself to a sandwich in Auburn-Pain, and they try to kind of come at me, and I just pulled a knife out, and they charged me with what was it? Armed assault with intent to rob, assault with a dangerous weapon, and assault, not battery. It just, you know, assault with it, which all of that kind of got dropped on a plea to just assault with a dangerous.
They throw assault on everything.
But I was on parole. In my mind state for parole, I was on county parole. I already told my cellmate, rest in peace, CJ. I told him, I was like, I'll be back. This is a furlough, bro. It's winter time. I'm gonna come back, wrap this shit up. I don't want to do parole, but they gave it to me. I'm like, you know, I'm gonna take it. And so I paroled on the 18th month bid, and then I get out. So I got to come back and finish the rest of that 9 months. But then I got a year with a year suspended, which actually follows. It just all overlaps. I had to do that year suspended when my house got raided. I was on probation, so before I went upstate. So I ended up doing more than 3 years. I did total 40 months. I did the 3 years that I pled out to, and then a year for probation, and then whatever the good time was, it ended up being like 40 months total. But yeah, just all Yeah, man, that was
Yo,
one of the
Bobby.
times, man. I caught like I caught a. What else, man? Oh, there's so many stupid things, bro. It was all stupid things. I think that's probably why they didn't like smoke me like that.
Yo, so you grow up, right, in the same city as Millie's, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he's out here pumping that Cambridge is the hood, and you know, he's a certified dude and all that, right? And people are kind of questioning that. What do you think about that?
I think we came up in the same era. The era we grew up with, it was a lot different than Cambridge now. I'm not saying that the whole Cambridge was a hood, but there was definitely hood aspects to it. There was hood things going on, you know. But if you wanted to do the right thing, you could probably do the right thing as long as you weren't already in trouble. There's a lot of, I mean, you've been upstate. I mean, a lot of official dudes from Cambridge.
Oh, yeah.
You know, they've been to the Bay, upstate, whatever. So there's that aspect to it, but it's, you know, I think that he was out there hustling. You know, he was out there getting involved with a lot of street stuff, man. I can't really take that away from him, bro. So, and a lot of the dudes too that are in his circle too, you know, they got, you know, between them all, they got almost 100 years upstate. You know, a lot of them dudes did a lot of time, and I'm proud of everything that they're doing now. And like, that's probably one of my biggest motivations is seeing someone that, like, that's like, by the time we see somebody on the big screen or on MTV, BET, they're already that dude. You know what I mean? Like, especially we're from Mass. Like, we never really had maybe like Benzino, so those people. But, you know, we don't really see that by the time we see people. So it's almost like it's unattainable. But then when you see someone like, hold up, I remember him in Central Square with a white T-shirt on around his hat. You know what I mean? Wrapped around his head on a bicycle, doing whatever he was doing. You know what I mean? And he's got songs with Jadakiss. Yeah, he got songs with Bit. You know what I mean? And it's like, oh, and I seen the grind. The dude been putting out music as far as like I can remember. Like that's since like high school. You know what I mean? Passing out mixtapes and all of that. So I'm like, okay, if you just, you know, work hard, stay consistent, don't quit. Don't get caught up and have to go away for 10 years. I mean, that's gonna put a halt to everything. Take you right out the game, bro. You know, that's unfortunately I didn't, you know, I didn't really have no goals. I didn't really like think goals were for, like, I don't know. Nobody told me I could have goals. Even like the school counselors and stuff. Like, I was getting kicked out for fighting. I had great grades. They're like, oh, don't you want to take this class for college? And I'm like, I can't afford college. I can't afford college. Not knowing that I probably could have got all these grants and stuff, but this is stuff my mom doesn't really know neither. My mom is on disability. She's a wonderful woman. She's got dyslexic. She's bipolar. You know what I mean? She's got a lot going on. She's a teenage mom. She was pregnant with me at 16. Then, you know, had another kid, my brother Jojo, a couple years later. Then we're a little older, and I think that's why we kind of had that free reign, is because we're 14 and 15, but she's got a 2-year-old, 3-year-old. Who was going to take priority? Oh, as long as we come home every night, you know, they were not getting arrested, and even when we were. So I feel like that's why we had each other, me and my brother. But I just never had it instilled in me. Like, you know, I heard it. I guess you could do anything you want, like, but never really seen it, I guess. I don't know. It just wasn't. I look back and I'm like, man, I wish I did the military, college. I just think it was like I was a follower. So I think whatever my friends were doing is probably what I would have did. You know what I mean? I played hockey freshman, sophomore year. I never played hockey a day in my life, but that's what all my friends did, and I wanted to do what my friends were doing. I was a follower. You know what I mean? I always had my own unique kind of personality. Right. But at the end of the day, I would definitely say I was a follower, but I kind of liked that. I kind of needed guidance. Even like at work, tell me what to do. I'll do it for you. At hockey, what do you want me to do? I'll run through the boards for you. You know what I mean? You know, and I was maybe seeking validation from people. Seeking, you know, maybe like feeling like I needed value, and I needed to hear from other people. Yeah, because like
that same attitude, right? Like you say, you know, I was a follower and stuff like that, right? And everybody, don't get it twisted, everybody in this life at one point was some type of follower.
But don't get it wrong, you gotta be a soldier before you could be a general. Fact. You gotta, you know, you gotta follow before you could lead. I think it's just part of the process.
And did you always have the same view on yourself as you do now? Like you're strictly, you're a positive ass dude, bro, and you're gonna keep it pushing, right? But at one point, like when you were a kid and shit, and you're growing up, your mom's an addict, she's ODing. Your life is not easy, bro. Your brother is getting in trouble too, right?
Yeah, my dad was in prison till I was like 10. I didn't really like. We went to see him once at Concord Farm, but my mom wouldn't bring us back up. She didn't like this how the COs kind of checking diapers or whatever the creepy shit they were doing. So that was a different experience too, you know. Like, I think I made him cry once, and I told him like, "Oh, what do you like? I don't even know you," or whatever it may have been. But I love my father, man. I realize now that they were kids with kids. You know what I'm saying? I always look at myself now like, damn, my mom at 8 or at whatever age, at age 30, had a 14-year-old, a 12-year-old, and a 2. You know what I'm saying? Like, God bless her. You know what I mean? And my father too. And that the 80s was a different time too. You know, when they were coming up, they're teenagers at the height of like the crack epidemic, and it was all new and everything too. So I never, resented them or anything like that. But I had a real kind of low opinion of myself sometimes.
That's kind of what I was getting.
Yeah.
It's like, did you always have the same view of like how to stay positive? And,
no, but I had a low. But that's where it comes to like the street stuff. That's when I started getting a little bit of recognition. Now, like, okay, now knock the dude out or whatever, a couple people out, or getting into fights, and I'm seeing that people are kind of like respecting that. But most of my fights weren't even really like my beef. It was just like, oh, you got beef? Let's go. Or that's my friend. No, I'm not letting that happen. And that's, I guess I kind of saw the validation in that, and like, oh yeah, Bobby, he's crazy. Or, you know what I mean? Like the weird backwards thinking, bro. And then I started to make a little bit of money, and now people are calling me, but really not calling me because they want to be my friend. They're calling me because I got this. But I'm still hanging out. I'm hustling, and I'm not gonna lie. Right before like I got locked up, like I felt like I was on top of the world. In my own little world, right? I was nowhere near on top of the world, but like I'm making money. I got my own apartment. I got chicks, bro. This chick, that chick, bro. Like I remember literally a random chick seeing me at the mall, and she's like, I seen you around with like 3 different, like she's like, I seen you at Shell gas station with this chick. A stranger that noticed that. I was like, oh yeah, I'm that, yeah, that's me. You know what I mean? Not even really remember because I'm drinking a lot too, and I drink a lot of, partying. I wasn't drinking like out of depression or anything like that, and that's a whole nother story. Is that effort drinking? Yeah, that's the demise. That's ugly, bro. Yeah, that's a bad place to be. But yeah, man, that was like. I thought everything was kind of going good, man. But God has His own plans. He didn't want me to be some ill drug dealer. You know what I mean? Yeah. And I don't think that's deep down what I really wanted to do. Probably knew that I was better than that too. Because even at school, like I always got this word potential thrown at me. Oh, you got potential. You know what I mean? So much potential. You're so smart. Yeah. But you always getting in trouble. You're always fighting.
So you made it out of the pits of hell, right? Or your own little layer of hell anyway, right? And now you're standing on the brink of something great, right? How do you close the deal?
How do I close the deal? Success comes to those people who don't quit. I just feel like if I don't quit, I'm pushing 40. I feel like, man, if I keep working out, I got another good 40 in me. That's plenty of time to succeed and I have a direction, a vision this time. The first 40 years of my life, I'm 38. The first 38 years of my life was no vision, no guidance. And now knowing what I know from those first 38 years, and if I could use that for the next 38, and don't quit, I just feel like that's really what it is. Because I feel like everybody, if you stop, it's like you stopped that one. I seen like a meme or something like that where the dude's like digging underground and there's like all this gold right there, and he stops like an inch before it and goes back the other way. Like you got to just keep going, man. You don't know how close you really are. Yeah. And this book, what's his name? Ed Milet, The Power of One More. Like that one more that next video can be that one that blows up. You know what I mean? The power of even working out, that one more rep, like that's where you grow, that extra one or more. And then it's like, oh, I got one more on top of that. Just keep going.
Yeah, I guess the mindset of the champion becomes when you got that thinking and the next video doesn't blow up, then what, right?
Well, I can't control that. I try to more focus goals on what I can control. I can't control the views, right? But I could control how often I put out videos, right? To an extent. I could control how well something is edited, right? I could control who I bring on. That's the stuff I can more focus on. If I knew, like I always say, man, if I knew how to make which one blow up, they would all blow up. You know what I mean? But that's not something I could control. So that's not something I really try to stress about. If it's not in your control, let it go. You know, put it out in the universe and then see what happens.
You know what's funny is I kind of got to bring this up because you said something, right? But you said you can control who you bring on, right? And I know you faced some heat in the past about some people that you brought on your podcast, right? What is your view on that? What do you have to say to those people?
So, okay, hold on.
Something to think about, right? You got to think about that and answer fact.
Okay, I guess, you know, you could do a little bit more homework on people. It's easy as a Google search.
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean? But most of the people that are like, if I don't know them personally, you know, then they're like sent to me by somebody who I feel like is official, like Mort Beasley, for instance. I feel like he'll never steer me wrong. He got to double check these people. You know what I mean? Yeah. That's how I feel. Yeah. And you know, certain people that hit me up you know, maybe I could try to see who follows them, kind of maybe do it like, yo, well, how do you know this person? You know, I see that you follow this dude. Is he official? Is he good? Yeah.
That's kind of what I was getting at. It was not like, you know, about the Googles and all that stuff. Because, you could do that. I mean, should do that, right? But I was more thinking about, like, what people are always going to hate when you're at the top, bro. People are going to have something to say. They're going to bite your heels, bro. And you know where they're going to be doing that from? Their couch, bro.
I've been hated on at the bottom, bro, when I've had nothing, because it's something in my soul or whatever it was, where they see like they hated on me because I was happy with nothing or whatever it may be. It's I come to realize that like I said, that's just how they feel about themselves. You know what I mean? The world is an outward reflection of how you internally feel. You know, people who are always happy and feel great about themselves, like the world is going to be, you know, they're going to have that pep to the step. People who really feel bad about themselves and the self-guilt, the shame, they're going to see. And trust me, I was like that too. I feel like I would see the worst in people because I saw the worst in myself. You know what I mean? And I would dwell on that. And then sometimes you need friends to remind you, like, don't forget who you are, B. Don't forget that you're funny. Don't forget you're smart. You know what I mean? Stuff that I'm like, I ain't worried about. I'm smart. No, I'm just whatever, drunk. Or whatever, you know what I'm saying? You focus on the one thing that, you know what I mean, that's very negative, and you don't balance it with the positive stuff. So sometimes we need friends for that, or sometimes, you know, we need whatever. These, you know, a motivational reel on Instagram or something, you know, those things kind of go a long way sometimes.
Yo, they do, bro. I know. I swear.
I share them all the time, bro.
I'm not even gonna lie. I watch your like the Instagram reels, do it a lot because there's so many like good, positive things, even like resources wise. You can learn like how these people got out of prison and got a job, how these people got out of prison and did not lose hope, and how these people stayed focused and all that. But I kind of, you know, you got such a way of thinking that, like, I think people could learn a lot from you, bro. No bullshit. Just being your friend and being around you, I learn something every day. You know, no bullshit. I'm not even lying. Like, not trying to toot your horn, bro. I'm not trying to make you feel all warm inside because I know you do right now. Right? But you really can. I gotta learn a lot from you, bro. And I think that other people will too. And I know they'll relate to it because I relate to it. So if I can, they will. But man. I appreciate you doing this for me, and I appreciate you getting me the membership to this studio. If you like my content, please hit the like button, subscribe, and make sure you come back. Click on my videos every time you see them because that's what really helps.
Well, I would just want to touch on that too. And the reason why I did that, bro, is because I seen you being consistent on your own, and you didn't need nobody to, you know, give you a platform. You made your own platform, and you were consistent with it. And I saw that you really wanted it, the hard work and the work ethic and everything. So it was. I want to see everybody do good, man.
Yeah.
Like when I see people do good, it makes me really feel good, man.
Yeah.
And I love to see all the success that everybody's having, and former guests, man. They're popping up on billboards in Times Square, man, and doing great things. You know, what's King Ace the General? You know, he got song Millies, OT the Real. I'm like, oh, you know, all these people exit for everybody. I don't want to even say everybody because I'm gonna miss a bunch of people, but everybody, you know, seeing. They on with Tommy G and all that stuff, and going and you, bro, going on Blood on the Razor Wire, bro. You went on all these platforms, bro. I love it, man. I love it. I try to put a couple people on with Chad too, man. So I love seeing it, man. And I just think that you don't gotta be like a celebrity, you know what I mean, to build this, you know, to build a following. And I feel like the mainstream media and mainstream Hollywood and all that, they're falling apart because they know that the real people and actually putting like real content, and there's actually real people who are real smart and better at doing what they do than they are. You know what I mean? This independent media movement, even YouTube, man. I'm noticing ESPN, they're putting all their shorts on YouTube. You know, they might not put the whole episode. Sometimes they do too. Whatever. I mean, like even local sports stations, I see they're live on YouTube. You know what I mean? Like they're seeing the way that it's going, and it's the independent media, and we don't got all that weird Hollywood stuff going on. You know what I mean?
Weird, bro.
Yeah.
Whoa. P. Diddy, bro. He's gonna bring down this whole generation of fucking Hollywood.
Right. So, you know, independent media is where it's at, man. We the real people that really been through stuff. You know, and I just think that, you know, there's so many smart people out there from all aspects on you. I mean, just up and down YouTube, any corner you go to, you know what I mean? These people are better, funnier, whatever, than a lot of these mainstream people who, because they're so agenda driven, I feel like too, with Hollywood, and everything's like pushing something, like instead of just giving us the story, the good story that we want. You know what I mean?
The product. It's all about the product and fucking it's a fucking shit show, dude. No bullshit. I don't even watch TV like that anymore just because of that, dude. It's like
I got like 2 shows.
The story that pops up is always for a reason. It's not like this is the most important story. No, this is the story that's gonna make you think this, or this is the story that's gonna make you want that. It's just like even like it sucks, bro. But yeah, you're right. YouTube is the wave. The fucking Bounce Back podcast, the W Number podcast, Blood on the Razor Wire, 23-and-1, Tommy G.
Oh yeah, and let's not forget Jason Trimmins, Code of Silence.
Oh yeah, Jason Trimmins, Mort Beasy, freaking
everybody. There, Ronnie Blue Eyes, YouTube Streets. Everybody doing content. You rap, whatever you're doing, man. I love seeing it, and especially out here, man. New England's got something going on, yeah. Especially for such like a small section of the country that you know. It goes overlooked a lot because New York's right there. New York's huge.
You got the smartest people, bro.
You know, but don't forget, a lot of the roots come from here, man. You know, Benjamin Franklin, he left Boston to get out of his older brother's shadow. It went to Philly. Like, you know, we got a lot of firsts out here. First public beach, Revere. You know, we got the first underground train station. We got the first public college. You know, we got a lot of firsts. So I think we could do a first of some sort of positivity thing, man. Why not? Why not us?
let's talk about maybe real quick before we tip off and shit. Like, so this is what I kind of want to work on, right? And this is something that I know you want to work on too with me and shit. Is a documentary on mass creators. We're gonna follow around some people. You being one. Jason Trimmins, I talked to him. He's gonna be, you know, he wants something to do with it. So we're gonna I'm hoping maybe exit fame and maybe math. You know what I mean? Some of these guys, mathematics, and these guys are doing positive things for the community. And I feel like that's another thing about Massachusetts creators. We are all giving back to our own community in some type of way, whether it's with information, help, resources, positivity.
If we don't, who is?
Right.
And we like the first generation of people to actually be able to do this and upload stuff to YouTube and try to tell our stories, and maybe the next generation can see like, oh, maybe this path I'm leading is a one-way trip to prison and jail, right? You know, maybe they're lying to us. Maybe Hollywood's lying to us. Maybe these rappers are lying to us. These rappers that are rapping like they're thugs a lot of times. You know, look how big Gunna just got after snitching. You know what I'm saying? But you know, Jeezy's out there telling your kids to trap or die, but he's putting his kids through college, telling your kids to trap.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like
it's a lot.
You got to wake up and maybe, you know, just the fact that we're kind of the first generation to be able to, you know, tell our stories and have people look at it. You know, I think it's a beautiful thing, and I think it's not only something that we should do. It's probably our duty to be doing this right now. You know what I mean?
Fact. Absolutely, bro. Because it really is a lie, dude. They're promoting the wrong message, not just that, but they're doing it, and they're not doing the dirt themselves, bro. Never are they going to be the one sitting in that prison cell. It's going to be you, the real fucking person that's actually doing it, and you're probably not going to be doing it for some big organization with some big fucking, you know, disciplined regime. It's going to be like some dumb shit that you do, and you're going to go to prison for a 10-year stretch. It's never going to be what you think it is, bro. Crime is not the way, bro. Like, it's just not the way, bro.
Not at all, bro. Not at all.
Yeah.
Especially with my whole thing is now too. There may have been a point at one point in the country with your Machine Gun Kellys and your John Dillingers, where the Wild West, where things were just crazy, and I feel like the criminals were like always a step ahead. It's not like that no more. Technology is caught up, and they are way more advanced than us.
Fact.
They are way more advanced than us.
Yeah. If you're
everything
not
is
caught
on
from a Ring doorbell, you're gonna be getting caught from a street camera or a cell phone. There's no way.
Your cell phone's getting pinged everywhere you go. And these people aren't even like, not that I'm promoting or anything, but these people will have their cell phone on them and go on a drill. Leave it at home. You know what I'm saying? You should know that it's pinged. You should, like, I don't know. We come from like a generation before there was cameras everywhere, before people were self-snitching on Instagram and posting stuff like that. So I feel like we see like, oh, this is crazy. But when you're born into it, when these dudes are coming up, 13, 14, 15 years old, and the internet been a thing for 15, 20 years. Facebook been out since what, 05? Almost 20 years now.
Fact.
That's all they know. They don't know a time before that like we do to know that that's wrong. So they need us to tell them that this is not normal. No. This is not normal. You're doing the police's job for them.
Yeah, word. And it's funny how all these rappers, they think it's cool to be like, I got the body, I got this body. And it's like, man, you're dumb as hell, bro. Now you just give me a reason to investigate you. Because you're saying you're a legit killer, right?
Right. And they're doing real specific things and real stuff like that. Because I feel like even when Nas dissed Jay-Z at first, I don't even think I caught it till I heard Jay-Z, and then kind of look it back like, oh, it was more like subliminal and more like only if you know, you know. Now it's like, if you know, you know, and if you don't know, now you know, because I just told you. You know what I'm saying? That's how I see it, man. And it's unfortunate, and it's not really nothing towards, you know, the kids doing it. They're just misguided, and that's why I feel like it's important for us to kind of correct the course and steer the ship in the right direction. Yeah,
because a lot of times they're not lying about it. It's just that they're misguided. Like you said, they're talking about it. Killers move in silence, bro. Real ones that don't get caught and don't go to prison. Not that you shouldn't be killing people, bro. But just saying, like, that's just how, like, the era is different, bro. It's like people like to talk about what they do now. You know what I mean? Rather than keep it quiet and do it because there's a real reason to do it. Now it's just for a reputation.
Well, it's not even about doing it and protecting it. So same with the money and everything. It's more the appearance. People want to look like killers, right? Some people actually got to be killers, but even with like the money, people would rather look like they have money than actually have money. People would rather